Good evening, everybody, and welcome once again inside the gymnasium here at Milford High School as Milford TV is happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. Once again, this is Tim Coet on the call as we continue our coverage of the varsity girls volleyball team this week, our second time to see the girls at home, and tonight the Scarlet Hawks take on one of their fierce rivals from the Kelly Rex division in the Hockomock League in the King Philip Warriors. Milford comes into this matchup with a bit of momentum, fresh off that solid three-set sweep victory against North Attleboro that came here at home on Monday, a game that we had a chance to cover for you live on Milford TV. The Scarlet Hawks doing a lot of things well in that game, really controlled play from start to finish, and hoping to carry that momentum over into this evening's matchup against KP, but quite a tough battle ahead for Milford. The Scarlet Hawks with that win earlier this week. They continue to reside in fourth place in the Kelly Rex standings. They've pulled to within 2 games of 500. They are now 6-8. King Philip, meanwhile, is right towards the top of those Kelly Rex standings. They are right now in a second place tie with the Franklin Panthers. But they have the most wins of any team in the Hawk with an overall record of 14-2. Attleboro also with 14 wins. They are currently in first place in those Kelly Rex standings, with Franklin right up at the top as well. So one of the fiercest opponents in the Hawk this season as this matchup gets underway, and immediately Milford is greeted by one of the big weapons on this King Philip squad, and that is one of the captains, Emily Sawyer. She is a senior on this team. Tremendous height, an outstanding presence at the net, and a vicious return for Sawyer as well. She leads in most of King Philip's offensive categories, and again is a huge asset at the net front, as you can see right there, as she is able to reach up and easily block that ball down. A part of these first 2 points of the night. She teams up at that net front most often with her co-captain Sammy Shore, also a senior. Those two have teamed up for over 50 blocks so far on the season. They are a dynamic duo up front. That time the block is deflected out of play, and that will give Milford their first point of the night. A 2-1 score early on as Maeve Driscoll now will step behind the service line. And again, a student section in attendance here tonight for this girls volleyball matchup, trying to get the energy level up as Driscoll's serve sails beyond the back line. Serve now belonging to KP's Olivia O'Neill. Now played on by the libero Ava Kelly and dropped just out of the reach of Driscoll on the back row. A fast start. The KP sub-varsity teams dominated the early matchups in the gym here tonight. JV match ending in 2 sets. The freshmen did push the KP squad to 3 full sets. A 5-1 score now, with O'Neill unleashing another serve, met by Nicolette Mackey, the Milford libero. Now here is Eliza Syed getting a touch. And set up again for Sawyer, who sends the ball off the hands of Mackey and out of play. Tremendous height, tremendous strength. We've talked a lot in our coverage so far on the season of the underclassmen talent around the Hockomock League that we have seen in girls volleyball, including some great talent on the Franklin and Attleboro rosters, but this KP squad is a veteran squad, the seniors leading the way. That return deflected out of play after it was sent across by the third captain leading this KP squad, Ahuna James. So she gets a kill, and this sends Milford into an early timeout, trailing 7-1. So settling into the coverage here, a fast start for the King Philip Warriors, and we'll take an opportunity to welcome in all of our live viewers checking out the coverage here tonight. Whether you are tuning in locally here in Milford, or you happen to be a fan of the King Philip Warriors checking out our coverage for the first time, Happy to have you with us. And again, while we have the break in the action, we also want to acknowledge we've really gotten great support from all of the coaches for the visiting teams that we've had a chance to cover throughout this fall season, including King Philip's girls volleyball head coach Kristen Gers. So we want to acknowledge all of the head coaches for their support with our coverage, providing roster information, other information on their teams as the season has gone along. It really does help us get to know a little bit more about the teams that we're covering. We're very appreciative of that information. The deflection out of play gives Milford a point, puts Nicolette Mackey behind the service line. And it's Sawyer now from the right side. And Driscoll able to pop that one up in the air, but with a little too much. It ended up taking a hard deflection off the basketball hoop and straight back down. Could not be played from there. And we'll see Sawyer now from behind the service line. Makes a rare service error. Cuts it to a 5-point King Philip lead, as Emily Croto now will serve for the home team. Tonight marks our final regular season coverage of this girls volleyball team this season. We will close out our regular season coverage next week with a pair of soccer senior nights. We'll have the girls senior night on Monday and the boys senior night on Thursday. And that will wrap up our regular season coverage. As the serve now comes from Fiona Bailey, a sophomore on this varsity squad for KP, and a nice return for Syed from the right side to get the kill. Syed now will serve for the first time tonight. Nice dig by Ava Kelly on the back row. Quick hands for Croto on the other side. Hartman trying to set it, but she gets called for the double hit. KP, we mentioned, comes into the matchup 14-2. Not a lot of losses on that schedule. However, they did suffer one of those 2 losses in their last match. And that ball sent across by number 12, Olivia O'Neill. She gets the kill. KP matching up for the second time this season with the Attleboro Bombardiers, that underclassmen-led squad. And after KP was able to earn a 3-set sweep against Attleboro on their home floor earlier this season, the Bombardiers pushed KP to 5 sets on their home floor on Monday of this week and ended up pulling out a 5-set victory. The only other loss King Philip has suffered this season was at the hands of one of the other top Hawk teams, Franklin. So those top 3 teams have been jockeying for position all season long. Each team has been able to earn victories against the other, making it very close atop the Kelly Rec standings. It's a 12-5 lead here now in King Philip's favor. One of the tri-captains, Sammy Shore, behind the service line for the Warriors now. Mackey pops this straight up, now set by Syed, returned by Driscoll. And now hammered to the back row by Bahuna James. Again, quick hands, now punched across by Olivia O'Neill. She gets the kill. She found the bare spot on the floor. And now nice diving play by Maeve Driscoll. Quickly back to her feet. Now Elisa Syed gets the return. Set up on the left. O'Neill's return is out on the near sideline. Substitutions on the KP side, as meanwhile we'll see Carly Haley on serve. Sends this one to the back. James digs it. Sawyer watching that one sail out of play. Wide to the far side of the net. Could not play it from there, so a point for the Scarlet Hawks. Haley's serve continues. And that ball drops in on the back corner. KP bailed on it. And Haley delivers an ace. Straight line serve this time since KP sprawling, and it's been a nice service game here for Haley to start to pull Milford a little bit closer. Back down to a 4-point lead. Sawyer now driving that ball. Syed was able to get her hands on it, sent it all the way to the net, but it could not be played on from there, and so that ends the streak on Haley's serve. Madison Asparelli now serving for the Warriors. Driscoll with the return, and it is blocked. Once again, Sawyer there, as was Kate O'Neill for King Philip. KP up to 15 points. And now Croto in a scramble gets that ball back across. A near collision for Milford. Now a nice play at the net. That combination of Croto and Katrina Ledger. And the ensuing return sails out of play from King Philip. So Croto and Ledger keeping play alive. Milford gets the point. And Driscoll now will serve. And that ball slammed into the front row by Emily Sawyer for another kill. Sawyer certainly a dangerous weapon on this KP offense, but a tremendous supporting cast around her that is also just as effective. It makes this team very dangerous to try to defend against. Sawyer that time unleashing a return that sails far beyond the back line. So Milford keeping it close. Again, they're within 5. Mackey again on serve. Una James, and she pulverizes that ball to the back row. Sends it off of Driscoll's hands and out of play. Emily Sawyer with another chance on serve. Haley making the play, and Milford running out of touches. And another timeout is called. So we mentioned our season-ending coverage comes your way next week of both the girls and boys soccer senior night games. And just a quick programming note to all of our live viewers. We will not be present for tomorrow's football action against Barnstable. Unfortunately, had a lack of available staff for that game tomorrow night, so we will not be at the football field tomorrow night for that non-conference matchup. We certainly wish the Scarlet Hawks football team the best as they look to quickly shrug off that tough loss to King Philip last week. And so we will start to turn our eyes towards playoffs in a couple of weeks for football, and any home playoff games scheduled for the Scarlet Hawks, we will certainly make every effort to be present for those games, and we'll also keep an eye out for any playoff games that pop up on the schedule for this girls volleyball team as well. We're not quite sure of their playoff status just yet. Last year they ended up having an opportunity to host a preliminary round playoff matchup, and we were here with the coverage, so if that should happen again this season, we will be here in the gym for that playoff coverage. To come to the end of what has been a very busy fall sports season. Got a lot of coverage of boys and girls soccer, football, and of course this girls volleyball team as well. Seen a lot of good games. Here is Ahuna James. That one blocked straight up in the air as Elisa Syed made a good play, and then Milford gets the kill, and that looks to be Jamari Downing from the right side making the play. And so again, the KP lead is 5. Will loft it in the air, an easy return for Sammy Shore. Set up over the middle now for Shore, and this time she gets the kill. KP up to 19 points now as Fiona Bailey gathers in to take over on serve. So predominantly a junior and senior roster for King Philip this season, but they did sprinkle in a couple of sophomores here at the varsity level, including Madison Asparelli, who we've seen on the floor in this first set, and also Fiona Bailey serving now for the Warriors. Both sophomores getting an opportunity to immerse themselves in this varsity squad and keep the depth going strong for this program that has been very good for a long time. Diving play in the front by Shore. Now driven to the back, but played on there by the libero Kelly, and James wraps it up with a kill to pull KP to within 4 points of the opening set, 21-13 now. Proto setting it up on the far side for Syed. Now James. Mackey gets there. Proto will now set it for Molly Hartman. She goes down the line, but O'Neill is, or I beg your pardon, Fiona Bailey is there. And that ball dotted just inside the back line. Nicely struck by Molly Hartman. She gets the kill. Elisa Syed now will take over on serve. Proto now over the middle for Isabella Borges. Quick hands also over there by Hartman. And now with the fingertips, it's delivered over by KP. Diving play by Proto keeps it alive. And Milford gets the return. Now James unleashes and gets the kill. Milford cannot match the velocity of a lot of these returns for King Philip, so placement is really key. Here's Driscoll. She gets the deflection off the hands of Fiona Bailey and out. Great support again from the students in attendance here, supporting this varsity girls team. It's been a great crowd for nearly all of the volleyball games that we have covered so far on the season. Borges and Ledger team up for the block, but that ball ends up getting deflected out of play. 23-15 now the King Philip lead. Sammy Shore on serve for the Warriors. Proto for Driscoll, and that time Driscoll's return is long, and set point chances now for the Warriors at 24-15. Shore another serve. Proto right at the net, sends it for Borges. And now returned to the middle of the floor by Olivia O'Neill. Driscoll a chance at a return, but it is blocked down. The front row solid for the Warriors, and They finish off a 25-15 opening set victory here in the Milford gym. And so King Philip is able to start out in front in this match. We'll take a quick pause here on the broadcast, and we'll start the second set when we come back next on this coverage of Milford High School varsity girls volleyball here on Milford TV. The fans continue to keep themselves entertained in between sets. We're back here now for the start of set number 2 in this varsity girls volleyball matchup between your Milford Scarlet Hawks and the King Philip Warriors. KP with a 25-15 set victory to open this match. Warriors will serve to begin set number 2. They have Madison Asparelli, one of their sophomores, on serve to begin the set. A dive across the middle by Ahuna James, but that ball sails out of play. Milford will start off the second set in front. If you joined us for our coverage on Monday evening, we talked about the road moving forward for the Hawks as Emily Sawyer grabs her first kill of the second set. An unkind schedule down the stretch here for the Scarlet Hawks, this game included. Facing 2 of the teams vying for the top spot in the Hockomock League. In this Warriors team, they will also travel to Franklin in their second to last game of the season to take on the Panthers. In between, a matchup with the Taunton Tigers on Monday next week, and then a matchup against the Hopedale Blue Raiders. Always a quality girls volleyball program. And so for a team sitting at 2 games under 500 with 4 games left to play, obviously the math is what it is. You're going to want to take at least 3 out of those 4 games if you want to finish the season at 500. So not an easy road, But again, not necessarily counting out Milford's playoff chances should they not get to the 500 mark. We have seen sub 500 teams make it in with the new playoff format. A 4-1 score as KP has quickly rattled off 4 straight points to take the lead. Chance now for Aliza Syed from the left side, but that sails out. Syed punching this ball up in the air. Mackey wafting the return. And now Sawyer, and that time Nicolette Mackey ready, sends it all the way back across the net. Nicely done by Milford's defensive specialist. Timeout called as Milford falls behind by a score of 6-1. So we'll take a look at how the schedule rounds out for the King Philip Warriors as well. After this game today, 3 more on the schedule for the Warriors. They'll next play on October 21st in their final road game of the regular season at non-conference Medway. And then they will finish off their final 2 games at home against the North Attleboro Rocketeers and the Taunton Tigers. So facing the 2 teams currently in 5th and 6th place position in the Kelly Rex in North Attleboro and Taunton, 2 teams that have combined for just 6 victories on the season. So a bit of a lighter finish to the year for King Philip, already sitting at 14 wins. Potential good news there for KP as they look to try to leapfrog Franklin and Attleboro in these final days. Attleboro is in first place by virtue of their league record, which is 12-1. Franklin and King Philip are both at 11-2 against league play. So again, we will see how that all plays out in the next about 9 days. Then the regular season play should be over amongst all the girls volleyball teams. Out of the timeout here, Milford will get a return from Aliza Syed. And now a swat across for Kate O'Neill. And a kill for Jamari Downing. Downing continues to look good when out there on the floor, getting the call up mid-season to the varsity team and has played very well. And with the Milford program that's on the verge of graduating a number of seniors, certainly an opportunity for a lot of the young players to step up into big roles next season. You look up and down this roster for Milford: Carly Haley, Lauren Handley-Butino, Emily Croto, Molly Hartman, Letitia D'Souza, and Aliza Syed, all graduating seniors. So a lot of varsity spots up for grabs next season, but not quite ready to shift our focus to next season yet, as there are still plenty of things to accomplish within this fall season. KP now up to an 8-2 lead. Captain Emily Sawyer serving for King Philip. Maeve Driscoll going after that ball. Haley going into her fellow teammates on the sideline to try to keep that ball alive. Not sure if that one would have gone out. Driscoll making the play just in front of the back line. Set up over the middle for Sammy Shore, and that is out of the reach of Maeve Driscoll, diving for that one. 11-2 lead now for King Philip as they apply heavy pressure here in the second set. Hartman now winds up for a return, met with ease on the back by Sawyer. And now a hard deflection off the front row. And credit Eliza Syed with the kill, sent that one off the hands of Sammy Shore. Breaks up an extended run on serve for King Philip. Now it is Emily Croto serving for the Hawks. Lofted across by James. Croto now for Molly Hartman. She punches that one down the line, but out of play. Still plenty of encouragement coming from this Milford crowd. I think that has been one of the things that's really stood out about these crowds that have come out for these girls volleyball matches this season. A lot of positive energy, a lot of cheering for Milford, not a lot of times where we've heard the crowd getting into it with the opposing teams. We know that's something that Milford's really been preaching these last couple of seasons, encouraging positive reactions from the crowd towards Milford versus negative reactions to the opponents, and it feels like, at least for these volleyball games, that the crowd has really taken that to heart. Hard shot across by Missy Canning into the game now for KP. And there is Ahuna James with a perfect stroke deflected out of play. And so many of these players with so much speed and great accuracy. When we looked at the stat leaders for King Philip coming into today's match, KP has 3 players that are all over 100 kills for the season so far. Driscoll sends a return over. Ahuna James again sends it to the back. Mackey all the way across. And an easy spike for Sammy Shore. Shore is one of those players over 100 kills on the season for KP. She is second in that category to Emily Sawyer. Sawyer with 135 kills coming into today. Then Shore at 128, and then Ahuna James with 113 kills. Emily Sawyer also leads King Philip with total blocks on the season with 30, and also leads the team in aces with 46. The team looking to make a deep run coming up in the MIAA playoffs, as KP now is going to open up a 10-point lead here on Milford at 15-5. Sammy Shore now serving, and that ball out of the reach of Maeve Driscoll for the ace. So that forces another Milford timeout. It is now 16-5. King Philip leading Milford. We will pause along with the teams for this timeout. More coverage coming up in just a moment here on Milford TV. Out of the timeout, Sammy Shore serving for King Philip. Warriors comfortably in front in this second set, as Driscoll skims that ball across the net, and now Sawyer slams it down right on the center of the floor. Tremendous velocity once again off that return for Emily Sawyer. Coming in as advertised. Here's Driscoll. She gets a deflection. Everyone's staying calm. And that ball dropped just inside the near sideline. The accuracy, again, is just outstanding for this team, putting on a clinic through these first two sets, up to an 18-5 lead. Syed stepping in to dig that ball out. Driscoll with the return. Excellent dive for Fiona Bailey on the other side. And then lofted back across by Olivia O'Neill. Croto will now set it up. And Milford gets the kill. Another late season addition to this roster. So recent, in fact, still not listed on any of Milford's official rosters. I beg your pardon, that was Claudia Salitro. She is listed on the roster. The player that we were trying to figure out last week, we believe, is Gianna Lebrun, who was wearing number 3 for the game on Monday, is currently borrowing Casey Fritz number 14 for the game today. She has not yet appeared on the floor. We'll see if she makes an appearance later on in the match. Striving to get all of the players accounted for as Milford's roster has continued to evolve in the later days of the season. Croto and Downing coming together there, but Milford able to get the ball back across. Now a deflection up front, and it cannot be played on from there by Syed. Madison Asparelli again serving for the Warriors. She'll set up Sawyer here, and again, too hot for Milford to handle. Croto again setting up Milford's kills leader, Eliza Syed, and it is now the KP kills leader, Emily Sawyer, who keeps tacking on to her total. This is the second regular season meeting between Milford and King Philip. KP with a 3-set sweep earlier this season. All sets were relatively competitive, 25-19, 25-17, and then ultimately 25-14 in the third set. But on the verge of a dominant second set victory here in the Milford gym. Just 2 points away. Asparelli still serving for the Warriors. Driscoll all the way to the net, trying to swat that ball across, but coming in contact with the net, and set point chances now for the Warriors. Asparelli another serve, Mackey, Croto, and now Syed. And that is sent down once again by Emily Sawyer, and that wraps up a flat-out dominant performance in the second set by the Warriors, 25-6. They make very quick work of the second set. So KP continues to roll along. They take a 2-0 lead. And we'll be back with more coverage, starting with third set play next here on Milford TV. Welcome in as we begin third set action. Claudia Solitro starting off this third set on serve for Milford, but that ball ends up dropping down for King Philip point. The Warriors with a commanding 2-0 lead. They just finished off a very lopsided second set victory. Tim Coed here on the call. We're happy to welcome in one of our new crop of Milford TV interns helping out on the coverage for this game tonight. Milford High School junior Jack Ritchie helping out this evening. Mentored by Patrick Garapi on camera. Just had several Milford High School students join us for their first time as interns, so we're happy to start to work them into our sports coverage. Meanwhile, a 3-0 start to this third set for the Warriors, on track for what would be their 15th victory overall on the season, their 12th against league competition. Service error here for Madison Asparelli. If you're wondering if Milford has had any success head-to-head against King Philip in recent memory, unfortunately the answer to that question is no. We were able to track back the head-to-head meetings against King Philip all the way back to the 2012 season. And that accounts for 13 head-to-head meetings, including their matchup earlier this year. And in those 13 meetings, every single match has gone in the win column for the King Philip Warriors. Not a lot of set victories in those matches for Milford. By far the most competitive set in recent memory came back in the 2016 season, where Milford forced KP to 5 sets. And in that 5th set, it was a long one before King Philip was able to eke out the victory. So that is the most competitive match that these two teams have played. There has only been 2 other matches head-to-head in that 10-year span where Milford has even grabbed a single set. So it has just been pure dominance for King Philip against Milford on the volleyball court for this last decade. KP making a number of outstanding plays while we were rattling off those stats for you to take a 5-2 lead. Sawyer again getting a hard deflection. Solitro in on that play. The return for Carly Haley, and now Ahuna James sending that one out of Milford's reach. And again, just a dynamic offense. Quality returns coming from all spots on the floor. Just keeps you guessing. Who do you want to try to keep the ball away from? It ends up becoming a futile effort, as just about everyone on the floor can hurt you. Turn this time coming from number 6, Kate O'Neill. Now Syed with a nice return. She'll get the kill. Emily Croto on serve now. Milford able to grab another kill to cut it to a 2-point lead for KP in this third set. Still serving. And a nice job by Solitro and Elisa Syed up at the net. And the lead is down to 1. Proto, a good service game. Dive that time for Nicolette Mackey. Now swatted across by Syed. She'll pick up another kill, and Milford draws level here in the third set at 6-all. So they already have as many points in this third set as they did in the entire second set. Milford, or KP, I beg your pardon, currently playing with Emily Sawyer on the sideline. Milford taking advantage. They take a lead here at 7-6 in this third set. Here's Sammy Shore now, and that drops down in front of Carly Haley. It ends the run, but a quality run there for Milford, one of their best stretches of the match, to briefly take a third set lead. More substitutions now for Coach Gersa's team. Bailey now serving, dug out by Carly Haley. Mackey hoists the return. Now Shore over the middle, and that is out. Milford again will pull in front by a point. Here is Eliza Syed serving. Sticking the hand out might have been the easier play for Nicolette Mackey, and the two come together to talk about it after. Luna James now serving for the Warriors. Tied score at 8 here in the third set. Now to the back row, and that ball coming awkwardly off the hand of Syed, frustrated with herself after. Lead tips back to King Philip as Mackey tracks that ball down, guided back across by Litro. Now Shore. Dug out by Ohuna James, and then surprise return. Milford able to get there. Now a long run as KP drifts towards the bleachers. And eventually it's Sammy Shore who gets the return. James with a dive, and KP running out of touches. Tracking down that loose ball behind our broadcast setup, we continue. Another point for Milford, and again, the Scarlet Hawks are going to take a lead now at 10-9. Another quick push by Fiona Bailey. Now it's Driscoll, and great court awareness. No, they'll say that was down for a Milford point. Oh, that looked to be long. Milford happy with the call. That puts the Scarlet Hawks lead now at 11-9. Now Driscoll meeting Ryan O'Sullivan at the net. The point goes to KP. And so after an extended break, Emily Sawyer checks back into the game, while Sammy Shore takes over on serve. Driscoll to James. Set up on the left side. The return sails long on Emily Zapala. So starting to see the depth now for King Philip. Serve now for Milford's Claudia Solitro. That ball out of the reach of Eliza Syed. Score right now stands at 12-11. Milford with the lead. Back to Madison Asparelli on serve. And she cannot get the net clearance. And Carly Haley back out onto the floor to serve with Milford on top by a 13-11 margin. Pushed across, quick hands at the net front for Milford, and with KP sucked in tight towards the net, that ball lofted over everyone's reach. Milford playing with a little bit more freedom here in the third set. On top now, make it 14-11. Emily Sawyer, she passes up on the hard blast, instead sends it over softly, but effective nonetheless, gets the deflection and the kill. Shea Melman now serving for King Philip. As Coach Gross continues to get the majority of her players activated in this third set. The Milford lead down to 1 now. Haley pushes that to the front. Proto gets to it, and then Downing with a return. Here's Ahuna James. Driven right back across by Solitro. And then Emily Sawyer puts an end to it. Another thunderous kill. And that's going to tie the score at 14. Syed now from the left. In tight to the net. Good read for James. Doesn't make contact with the net as she gets that return, and that ball drops just out on the near sideline. So there's another close one. The first one looked to be long, but it was called in for Milford. That one looked to be out, ruled out. So in the end, it all evens out. King Philip takes the lead. James keeps that alive. No one there to make the play after her dive. And we're tied up again now at 15. So an entertaining third set here after a couple of comfortable holds for King Philip. Here's Sawyer now from the right. Sends that cross court for the kill. Pushes KP back on top, and Sawyer now will serve. Sammy Shore back out onto the floor. A couple of players come together on the back, and Solitro's going to be called for the double hit. Coach Weber calling another timeout. So this pauses the action with King Philip now in front of Milford, 17-15 in this third set. King Philip leads the match 2-0. Quick timeout here in the match. Timeout on the broadcast as well. More action to come in just a moment here on Milford TV. Emily Sawyer with another serve out of the timeout. Back across by Syed. Now it's Shore over the middle. Play whistle to a stop. No definitive call. There it is from the officials, giving King Philip the points. Haley Bailey getting to that serve. Syed in tight towards the net, sends that return long. So about as big a lead as KP has had at any point in this third set. Collecting a lead at a good time in the later stages of the set. This one left for James. Another kill for Ahuna James to put KP within 5 points of the match. All the way to the net, pushed across by Emily Croteau. That was short setup, diving play for Croteau to try to keep it alive, but deflected out of play. And Milford will call yet another timeout. So again, just going over our remaining regular season coverage here on Milford TV. Just 2 regular season games remain on our coverage schedule. And both of those will involve the boys and girls soccer teams next week in their respective senior night games. We'll have the girls senior night on Monday, the boys senior night on Thursday. Both of those games evening matches under the lights. And so weather permitting, we hope to be out there for both of those next week. And those will be our final 2 games of the regular season. And then we will start to look for the release of playoff brackets to see if there's any home cooking on those playoff brackets. And if so, we will keep our coverage going for those games before we start to turn our focus towards the impending winter sports season. Back out of the timeout now. Here's Syed across the middle. Milford trailing now in this third set, 21-15. Here's Syed, another long return. Sawyer continuing to serve, that one into the net. But a successful service game for Sawyer, who will head back to the sidelines. Emily Croteau serving for the Hawks. James pushes towards the far sideline, but that drifts out. Croteau right to the middle of the floor, played by Shea Melman. Now the deflection, and that ends up out of the reach of Hartman. KP now 2 points away from the match. And it will be Fiona Bailey taking over on serve. Croteau setting it up on the far side for Syed. And now sent across by Ryan O'Sullivan, and O'Sullivan will pick up a kill. She's gotten some game action here in the third set. Match point opportunities now for the Warriors at 24-17. And that ball sails out. Giving Eliza Syed an opportunity to step behind the service line at now 24-18. That one dug out nicely. Now James, and a little bit of confusion over the middle of the floor. That ball ended up out of the reach of Fiona Bailey. Now set up over the middle by Sammy Shore. Croteau now for Maeve Driscoll. Gets another chance. Now Croteau sets it up for Eliza Syed. Now a hard deflection off the hands of Emily Croteau, and that is going to do it. A much more competitive third set. But King Philip wins it 25-19, and they will take this match in a 3-set sweep. And so another victory in this head-to-head matchup for King Philip. They have dominated Milford, and that domination continues here with a solid victory this evening. And so again, KP wins it in a 3-set sweep with the victory. King Philip improves to 15-2 now overall on the season. And with the loss, Milford again falls 3 games below the 500 mark at 6-9. And so we wish the Scarlet Hawks the best of luck the rest of the way in this regular season. And again, we will continue to monitor should the Scarlet Hawks make it into the playoffs. And if they have any games here at home, we will very much look forward to covering those games for you here on Milford TV. But that's going to wrap up the coverage here for this evening. A big thank you to our Milford TV intern, Jack Ricci, for helping out tonight. Patrick Garapi helping out on the coverage as well. And I am Tim Coette. That final score one final time. It's KP over Milford in a 3-set sweep. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics here on Milford TV. So long.